Alright guys, this is an advanced version of solving absolute value inequalities. I strongly recommend that you watch the introduction for this. The introduction is kind of long, but it has a real basic problems to kind of help you practice setting up the inequalities. So I have the steps here. Make sure that you know them, understand them, and that you've written them down because I'm just going to solve inequalities here in this video. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do, solve for the absolute value part. Check, it's done. Nothing over here to the left, nothing over here on the right. Second thing you have to do is solve for your true statement. Okay, can a positive be less than a positive? Yes, so then we can continue. Step 3, you have to write your two new inequalities, which I'm going to do over here. So then you have your positive and your negative. The positive stays the same. K minus 8 is less than 4. Your negative side, you have the same left. Your inequality sign changes, and your sign changes over here. You have to add a negative. So that becomes negative 4. And then you can go ahead and solve them however you see fit. Well, however you need to solve them. Okay, so here, if we're going to solve this, for step 4, we're going to add 8 to each side so that you have k plus 0 is less than 12. So then you have k less than 12. Okay, so that's one of your solutions. And then you have to solve over here. Let me rewrite this so it looks better. So then we have k minus 8 is greater than negative 4. Add 8 to each side. K plus 0 is greater than positive 4. K is greater than 4. Okay, so you have your two inequalities here and you can plot them. K is less than 12, so open circle less than is to the left. K greater than 4, open circle greater than is to the right. So there are your two inequalities. Remember, when the intervals connect, you can write it as an inequality with k in the middle, greater than 4 but less than 12, or in interval notation like this. Okay. Next example, step 1 is to solve for the inequality part. Okay, so this is a fraction. In order to get rid of that fraction, we're going to multiply both sides by 2 here. Here, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that we're left with the absolute value of n plus 1 is greater than or equal to negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Okay, so second step is to check for your true statements. Okay, so can your positive be greater than or equal to a negative? Yes, it can. So then step 3, you go ahead and set up your two inequalities, positive and negative. N plus 1 is greater than or equal to negative 4. N plus 1 is less than or equal to, change the sign, negative 4. Okay, so here you're going to have to change that to positive. N plus 1 is less than or equal to positive 4. Now you solve. Minus 1, n is greater than or equal to negative 5. Minus 1, n is less than or equal to 3. Negative 5 is over here. Greater than or equal to is closed circle to the right. N is less than or equal to 3. 3 here is closed circle to the left, and these are going to connect. So if you wanted to write them as an inequality, you would have n greater than or equal to negative 5 but less than or equal to 3. In interval notation would look like this. Okay. Next example. Step 1, always solve for your inequality or your absolute value, so nothing over here, so we're good. Step 2, check your true or false statements. So can your absolute value be less than a negative? No. So that's false, which means here there's no solution. Okay, remember you always need to check for your true or false statements. If this is confusing you, go watch the intro video. I have a few more examples here for you. -2 times the absolute value of -4m plus 3. Okay, step 1, we have to solve here for the absolute value. Now, a lot of you guys will try to add 2 here. That's incorrect. It's the same thing as if you had -2 times x plus 1. You wouldn't add 2 here. You wouldn't do that to move it over. This is being multiplied, so in order to get rid of it, you have to divide. So you divide both sides by -2. -2, that's going to go to 1, and you're going to be left with the absolute value of -4m plus 3. Now remember, when you divide or multiply by a negative, your inequality sign changes. Okay, you have to flip it. And then you have 10 divided by -2 is -5. So then step 2, you have to check your true or false statement. So can your absolute value be greater than a negative? Yes, it can. So then you go ahead and write your 2 inequalities, your positive and your negative. Remember, with your -1, your inequality sign changes and you change the sign. So we have -4m plus 3 greater than -5. And then we have -4m plus 3 is now less than a -5. That right there is going to change your sign. +5. And now you can just solve it. -3 minus 3. -4m is less than 2. We're dividing by a negative here. So your inequality sign is going to change. That's going to go to 1. M is now greater than -1/2. Okay, so that's one solution. And same process over here, -3 on each side. -4m is greater than -8. Divide by a negative. M is going to be less than, negative divided by a negative is +2. Okay, so if you want to plot them, m greater than -1/2, open circle greater than, m less than 2, open circle less than is going to connect those this way. Okay, one more example for you guys. Then I have some practice problems. So step 1, we have to solve for this. We have to get this by itself. So remember, when you're solving, you work from the outside in. So the furthest thing away from this is going to be this 2 over here. So we have to subtract 2 on each side. So then we're left with 1/3 m minus 5 greater than or equal to 5. And we're not done. This is being multiplied here, okay? What you could do if you wanted to get rid of this fraction, well, I'll just show you. Okay, so you could either divide by 1/3 or you could rewrite it as like m over 1 and multiply across. So m minus 5, absolute value, all over 3 greater than or equal to 5. So then here it makes it a little more clear that you need to get rid of that 3 first by multiplying both sides by 3. That's going to go to 1. Absolute value of m minus 5 is greater than or equal to 15. Okay, so now that we've solved for that, you have to check your true or false statement. So can your absolute value be greater than or equal to a positive? Sure. And then step 3, you have your positive and negative ones. Change the inequality, change the sign. So then we have m minus 5 greater than or equal to 15, m minus 5 less than or equal to -15. Go ahead and solve it, plus 5, m m greater than or equal to 20. Here plus 5, m less than or equal to negative 10. Okay, so in this instance, your solution set's going to look a little bit different. We have m greater than or equal to 20, so greater than or equal to is close to the right. Here we have a negative 10 over here, negative 10. M less than or equal to that, so close circle out. Okay, so notice that these previous examples, they were connected. These two are out in opposite directions here. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Ask me in class, shoot me a reminder. There are your practice problems for tomorrow.